Give us your background.
Well, my name is Celeste Payne, and I was born and raised in New York, New York. And over the course of my life, I've lived in Ohio as well as Baton Rouge and now in Jacksonville, Florida. I was raised by my grandmother. My mother passed away when I was 12, so she raised me from the time I was 12 till I went to college and even went to grad school. And I studied art. I'm an artist and an art educator, but I'm also a business owner and, of course, a mom of a college age student. And, just been through a lot in life. And I'm excited about not only where I've been, but where I'm going.
What is your superpower? What is that thing or things that keeps you walking by faith?
Well, I guess my superpower would be creativity. And I say that because as an artist, of course, you're considered creative. But one of the things I've learned about this superpower of creativity is that creativity allows you to solve problems in unconventional ways. And so I love that because even as a woman of faith, a mom, even as a woman who's been through divorce and having to start over and introduce myself to myself, creativity has really allowed me to solve some of the problems that I faced, and then on the other side, be able to be a problem solver for those people that I meet and give them innovative solutions to areas they might find difficult or find a way that they don't know how to get out of.
Give an example of when your superpower is activated and how you feel.
So a lot of times my superpower is activated when somebody has a crisis, which is, you know, it is what it is. And so there has to be somebody who can bring an answer, a solution, some closure during a crisis. And that is one of my superpowers. And when that is activated in me, what it's able to do is not only to bring calm to the person, but actually bring out an innovative solution on how to do something. The Bible says, with men it's impossible, but with God all things are possible to them that believe. I feel that sometimes I am that person that God inserts in a situation to make the impossible possible for others.
Describe your connection with God when you're operating in that space.
Well, when I'm in the middle of these crisis situations, it's very important for me to have my eye on the crisis, but my ear to God. Because during that time, sometimes there are like creative miracles, creative strategies, creative solutions coming up that me as a human being cannot even think of. But He'll drop that answer right there. So it's important, as I say, to keep my eye on the facts and know what the facts are, but keep my ears open to God who will reveal the truth and the true way to get out of the situation.
How did this experience propel you into your purpose or help you identify your purpose?
What's funny about that is I have always had a relationship with God, but I never really, as a young person, I knew about God. As a young adult, like a middle age, I mean, well, I won't say middle age because I'm middle age now, but in my 20s and 30s, it was about getting to know God by what I read and what I heard. And now it's like by experience. And how this propels me into purpose is I really do hear God prophetically. And sometimes I'm required to say things to people prophetically and give them answers that they may not have heard in other places. And so part of my purpose as I get older, and purpose evolves as you live and as you grow. I'm finding out that one of my purposes is to be a mouthpiece for God in an unconventional way. I may not be in a pulpit or in a church, but I could be at a book festival, I could be at a conference or something in the marketplace and really have a word for someone that would change their life and help them move forward.
How important are faith and obedience when walking in your purpose?
Faith and our obedience are so important when we walk in our purpose. The Bible says that without faith, it's impossible to please God. And so it's so important to, if you're, my goal is to please God, that I walk by faith. And part of pleasing Him is doing what He wants to do, reaching those He wants me to reach. And when you talk about obedience, I look at obedience in two factors because, of course, we know obedience is better than sacrifice. But not only do I have to obey God, but I have to obey the laws of the land and learn how to get along with people and obey the different rulers in different spaces, whether it's on work, at work, or in business. And so faith is great. Obedience to God is great, but also learning how to obey your environment and work within the bounds of that with your faith and your obedience to God is something I think is really important.
Why did you decide to share your story with us?
Well, I know statistically that 50 or more percent of people, marriages end in divorce. I also know that um, there's a lot of shame, especially if you're in church. I was a pastor, married to a pastor, but I still had purpose on the inside of me. And I think that it's important for me to share my story because there's life after divorce, there's purpose after divorce, and that there needs to be an example of someone who has come up out of the ashes of rejection, divorce, and moved on. Since my divorce and my moving forward and acquainting myself with me and purpose. I started a nonprofit organization. Things are prospering in my life and moving forward. And the shame of divorce, the rejection, and even the inner shame of that has not been able to hold me back, has not been able to overcome me, and not been able to dim out the light that God has already put on the inside of me.
What message do you want the reader to receive?
So, what I want the viewers to receive is, if you're a 50 plus woman, it's not too late for you to find out what it is you're called to do, what it is that your purpose is. Many of you have put your families, your children, maybe your spouses, maybe your career, that dependence on that career ahead of purpose. And what I want you to know is it's not too late. It's not too late for you to pick up that idea. It's not too late to pick up that thing that you've been dreaming about for years. It will come to pass no matter what you've been through. If you pick it up and you work with God on it, it will surely come to pass.
And finally, how was your experience working on this project? And would you recommend others to participate in future projects?
My experience with this project and any other project that Nadia hosts has been great. I actually looked at my calendar from last year, like my accomplishments from last year, and how I've been able to be exposed to people and put on platforms. And most of those platforms that I was on were Nadia's platforms. And I could say that they have made a great difference in my digital footprint. If you're trying to expand uh, your views and who sees you, people look at that when they are trying to book you or buy your book or use your service or Google you. They're going to look and see, where are you? And when you're nowhere, but this is an opportunity for you to be on a platform to actually be seen by others. And I definitely recommend it to you to be on here. If you're thinking about it, you're on the edge, it's not like the prices are exorbitant. I mean, they're affordable. One thing I know about Nadia is she makes it affordable for people to get seen. And you need to give up that money and get seen. I want to say that it's worth it, and I'm saying that passionately because I've been at this weekend. We've been here Friday, Saturday, and today, and literally last night, a TV station in Dallas, Texas, called me and asked me would I come and be on their show. It was because I was on this platform. It opens doors. Being seen opens doors, and so you need to work with Nadia. She's going to do what she can to make sure that you get what you need and get seen in an excellent manner. That's the last thing I'll say, is that everything is with excellence, like from the food to the decorations to the reception to the amount of information that she gives out. You wouldn't come here. Some events I've been a part of, you don't know what's going on. It's confusion. This is has not been any of that. It's been very, very orderly, organized, and like I say, if you're afraid, don't be. Get on the bandwagon, get seen, and allow God to put you where He needs you to be.